Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I just had some bacon. Who doesn't like bacon? The market looks like we've the last 24 hours at least, we've had some green. Top performing Quant, Ethereum, XRP, Algorand, Theta. That's on my list, that is, from coinpaprika.com. All right. Now, this is from Link2. They just added this, it's called Figment. Watch, here's a little brief on this.
Hi there. Today we're excited to launch Figment on our platform. Figment is a Canadian-based blockchain infrastructure and crypto staking provider. It develops back-end systems and infrastructure that provide yield on tokens for proof-of-stake blockchains. Why did we invest in Figment? Well, it's one of the world's largest blockchain infrastructure and service providers that develops back-end systems and infrastructure that provide yield on digital tokens and other assets. The company's enterprise-grade infrastructure, service-level agreements, and slashing insurance allow its customers to participate in proof-of-stake networks safely and securely across a growing range of networks that support the diverse ecosystem being built on top of them. Figment Networks is one of the few transcoders offering a service level.
All right, so they've added Figment. Now, I put the link to link at the top of the description of this video. You got to click on that link and tell them DAI sent you. That's how they know you're coming. All right. This is big stuff right here, folks. Bom dia, Brazil is open for Ripple's on-demand liquidity and TravelX. Here's the article. This is this morning. Ripple, the leading provider of enterprise blockchain and cryptocurrency solutions, today announced the launch of RippleNet's on-demand liquidity. That means XRP, folks. In Brazil with TravelX Bank, the first bank in Latin America to utilize ODL. TravelX is the first bank registered and approved by the Central Bank of Brazil to operate exclusively in foreign exchange. By utilizing XRP, a digital asset ideal for payments, Ripple's ODL solution allows customers to send money across borders instantly with very low cost. We already know that. Brazil is a key market for Ripple given its importance as an anchor to business in Latin America, its openness to crypto and countrywide initiatives that promote fintech innovation. As a result, the market is experiencing an explosion of activity as institutions look to adopt crypto and blockchain technology to solve customer pain points, said Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple. From day one, we've focused on building solutions that deliver real utility, and we are excited to collaborate with an innovative partner like TravelX Bank to help move money more efficiently for benefit of its customers across Brazil. And thanks to Gary Gensler, people in the United States do not get this benefit, only Brazil right now. Okay? Now, banks will never use XRP, they said. That was the first thing that popped. Since I began this channel, all we ever heard from the Bitcoin maxis, the Ethereum maxis, and all the different people that hate Ripple and XRP. Oh, the banks will never use XRP. That's what they said. And we were all supposed to just go the other way and ignore it. But the elephant in the room was that XRP was the best technology, the best product, faster, less expensive, and could scale. We knew that, so we ignored the lies. Speaking of lies, this is not one. This is the truth. If only you all understood the volume increase soon as XRP gets that stamp for running the whole world's banking system. This is not your everyday token. Now let that sink in. The speed this token will rise will shock the world. I do believe that, folks. I believe those of us that have sat around and just watched this, we've always known in our gut what we held. If you've really studied it, you can't get around it. And I do think that this it's going to it's going to make the earth shake. It's going to shock the world when this thing finally happens. And there's no question in my mind on that. Now, this is an interesting, Digital Perspectives put this clip of Miguel Valles out. In the first part, now he was making a point about liquidity and utility and all of that. But there's something at the beginning of this that tells me what I put up here, which is Miguel Baez mentions Lubin and Vitalik. You know, Ripple's always, the whole idea was here that Ripple's been criticized because, oh, you own a lot of XRP. That was the criticism from all the maxis and the Bitcoin people, the Ethereum people. That was remember when Brad Garlinghouse and Joseph Lubin were on stage. Joseph Lubin tries to say, well, don't you own a lot of that and don't you sell it? And Brad Garlinghouse says, well, how much do you own? How much do you sell? And Lubin said, we can't talk about that. So in other words, I think that Ripple knew all along that there was a lot of shady stuff around this whole Ethereum thing. Now, I can't prove that, but I'm just telling you, I think they knew all along. And if you remember, it wasn't until some people like myself in the XRP community saw in the legal documents where Ripple was pointing at Ethereum and bringing some of these things up. That was when I started waking up on Saturdays and Sundays and looking for video, because I knew they were pointing at something, and the rest is history, as they say, because we have exposed exactly what has gone on now. But this little clip, I'm going to let you see the liquidity part too, but I wanted you to hear what he says here so you can kind of understand that Ripple knew what was going on all along. I can tell.
There's a centralization of it, like how I believe the owner has like a very large scale of it. People who pre-mine maintain a specific amount.
I mean, look, we own 60 billion or something, the company. I get it. I don't know that Bitcoin or Ethereum is that much more decentralized in terms of holdings, right? I think Vitalik has a fair bit of Ethereum, right? So does Joe Lubin. The early Bitcoiners have tons, right? I saw some study the other day that like 90% of the holdings are 10% of the wallets in Bitcoin and Ethereum, some crazy thing like that. So it's a little more private, right? I think ours.
It's a little more private means that the whales are disguised. They knew.
More public, especially because the company holds so much. What I would say is it puts us in a very interesting position with respect to economics, because number one, so my job in building liquidity, one of the ways you do that is you lend XRP to people so that they can provide liquidity in markets.
You mean like ODL?
If you want to provide a bid and an offer in a market, you have to have cash to buy something. And if you want to sell it, you have to have the thing to sell. Well, the only way you sell something is either own it or you borrow it. In the Bitcoin space, it's really hard to borrow stuff. It's expensive, 10 to 15% annual interest rates, and it's hard to find really chunky loans. With XRP, people can just come to us and be like, hey, I want to borrow some XRP. Not anybody, but really professional market makers. It's something that we can do that nobody else can do, right? In that flow that I described where somebody's buying XRP, moving it and selling it, we can guarantee the rates. So everybody always asks me, like, well, you're bridging between two fiat currencies. Like, you have to do two hops, there's two spreads you're crossing, the liquidity's not great, it's volatile. No problem. I will pay you the difference. If you're going across this rail and it's expensive, I am very much incentivized to make sure that you do that, because the more liquidity, the more utility, in theory, over time, the more valuable XRP will be. So in the short run, we're
exactly. That's what you needed to hear. Okay. Now, I don't know why this makes me think that Vitalik, Buterin, and all these people, they know we're over the target, and it's making them nervous because this guy, this is like in my area of the world. In fact, at my hunt club, by the way, ProCoinNews.com is the official sponsor of the Digital Asset Investor Hunting and Fishing Club. Well, I was at the hunting club the other day, and I got stung by a yellow jacket. In this part of the world, my dad went to Georgia Tech. It's the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, right? Yellow jackets are one of the most aggressive things in the world. One of the most aggressive. They sting you, and they will swarm you, okay? And I got stung the other day by one of them because I got too close to one of their nests at my hunting and fishing club. Well, Vitalik Buterin decided that he wanted to stick his foot into a yellow jacket nest last night. Watch this. He says, glad to see, first of all, man, these people, we've seen how arrogant Joseph Lubin is, but these people, it's not just Joseph Lubin, it's Vitalik too. It's the arrogance that comes with thinking you got away with something, folks. But this guy stuck his foot in a yellow jacket nest because either he hadn't been paying attention, which I don't believe, but I think it's more like they're getting nervous, and they should be nervous. He says, glad to see that Ethereum people pushing against regulations that privilege Ethereum over legitimate cryptocurrencies. In other words, he's poking fun at the people at Solana, knowing that he got a free pass. But then this guy says, if they had restricted XRP, I wouldn't have said anything. Then Vitalik says, XRP already lost their right to protection when they tried to throw us under the bus as China controlled, in my opinion. Okay, and that's his tweet from back when the lawsuit was dropped. And I said, then there's this. I replied to his little thing. So watch this. This is Vitalik Buterin, who is he's so much above XRP, right?
Right. So you said that you guys are looking to incorporate and do this out of Switzerland, and you're purposely you live in Canada, right?
Yes.
And so you're purposely not doing it in Canada, and you're purposely not doing it in the U.S.
A large part of that is regulatory reasons.
Okay.
So with Switzerland, they have a very long and established tradition of, first of all, very friendly banking laws. Also a tradition of stability. So it's not like some tiny tax haven that's going to turn against us the moment that the U.S. government wants them to.
Right. So you're trying to get around U.S. regulations, and then after that, I had the disguised whales part. I won't play that. But the point is that they and by the way, just because you locate in Switzerland does not mean you're out of the reach of the SEC of the United States. I've played clips on here where Valerie Chapinick from the SEC said, no, if you're selling into the U.S., we can grab you. And that's what they did. And they disguised those sales, or at least some of the whale purchases. And so this guy to be running his mouth is just, this is not, this, you know what this proves? This proves you can be a genius in your lane and be a moron when you step outside of your lane. Because talking like this and stirring up the yellow jacket nest, it's not smart. Not with what this guy so far has gotten away with. David Schwartz replied to him, the government should punish projects that disagree with our narrative. Seems pretty on brand for Ethereum. And then he goes on, and that's the Laura Shin clip that was posted by Ripple Eye about where she's talking about the shadow government that Vitalik at Ethereum, that Vitalik Buterin was scared to even speak their name. And then down here, David Schwartz continues. Also, I do think it's perfectly fair to analogize miners in proof-of-work systems to stockholders in companies. Just as eBay's stockholders earn from the residual friction between buyers and sellers that eBay does not remove, so do miners in Ethereum and Bitcoin. Just as eBay stockholders want to leave as much friction between buyers and sellers as they can because that's their revenue stream, so do miners in Ethereum and Bitcoin. That's part of why they have higher fees than XRPL. Do you think this debate should be settled by the government or the market, Vitalik? I mean, he's calling him out. In other words, do you think this should be settled by the SEC and Bill Hinman or the market? See, that's the whole point of all this. That's why this was done, folks. That is the whole reason Jay Clayton dropped the lawsuit on the way out the door, and that all those SEC officials quit right afterwards. Bill Hinman does this, walks out the door after this speech, and then walks out the door before the lawsuits drop. I think they didn't want to be affiliated with it. They didn't want to be associated with it so that it looked like their fingerprints weren't all over it. Now, then John Deaton replies to him, you would think someone who belongs on the Mount Rushmore of crypto would understand that XRP is software code. Vitalik, are you saying that the 72,000 XRP holders I represent don't deserve to be protected? These holders have nothing to do with Ripple or Brad Garlinghouse. Shame on you. Then he says this. Hold on, I'm getting a call. Let me answer this. Sorry, got interrupted with a phone call. So here's and this is John Deaton responding to Vitalik. Since XRP lost protection, who protected the Ethereum founders from their fear of, we thought it was possible we would land at JFK on a certain day and the FBI would tackle us to the tarmac. That's a Joseph Lubin quote. Yet with Hinman, you met with Hinman yourself. Care to share? And then this is another Deaton tweet. Co-founder Chetrit left the Ethereum project because he was worried about the very real possibility they would all end up in jail for securities violations. How about them apples? So again, you can be a genius in your lane, step out of it, and sometimes you're a moron. Okay, and then this is my comment. You got a Russian/Canadian who formed the Ethereum Foundation in Switzerland for the purpose of avoiding U.S. regulators while selling the token to U.S. residents and helping the whales disguise themselves with multiple email addresses. Purchases. He's talking about the rights of an American company and the rights of XRP holders. Are you freaking kidding me? Who does this guy think he is? Who does Congress and the SEC think they are, letting this guy and his people get a free pass while they go after an American company? What is going on in the United States of America? And then you have Cointelegraph. Here's the extent of what they do about that exchange. Oh, we'll run a poll, and which project are you supporting? Well, I got an idea. Cointelegraph and CoinDesk and CNBC. Maybe instead of doing polls over which coin you like, you cover ETHgate and the mounds of evidence, the video, the timeline, what the SEC and the Ethereum gang have pulled over on the crypto industry in the United States of America, so your audience is actually informed of what's going on. There's an idea. Cointelegraph. How about that? Okay, now I don't want to go too far. I've got a lot more stuff. But what I'm gonna do, I want to make sure you see this. Crypto hack losses top $2 billion as crime shifts among market decline. I think that means there's been $2 billion in losses in crypto hacks since the market downturn occurred. I want to remind everybody, I'll put it in the top of the description of this video, Pure VPN. I use VPN myself, and you can get 5 years of Pure VPN for $10.95, $149 a month. I'll put this link at the very top of the description up there with link to. Go check it out. I use this. I have a Ledger Nano OS. You got to have an antivirus. You got to have. Let me think. The other thing I use that I haven't shown in a while is one of these security keys for logging into. It's institutional grade security. I'll talk about that in another video. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family to go check out Pure VPN, one of my sponsors.